Good morning. So, as Pastor Lauren said, today is the third and final Sunday where the topic of stewardship is discussed as we lead up to next week's Consecration Sunday. So, we deliberately set aside next Sunday to publicly bring forward our offering pledge for 2014. This creates an opportunity for us to be intentional givers rather than accidental givers. For this morning, instead of talking about all the financial needs of the church, all the wonderful programs that your generosity supports, which I could spend my whole time on those items, today I'm going to dig a little deeper into what God is calling each of us to give. Chris Gallard, who is the pastor of stewardship at Saddleback Church, boils down the concept of stewardship into three major points. So number one, God owns it all. Number two, we are all stewards. And number three, we have a responsibility to manage it for His glory. For the first point, not only does God own it all, He created it all. He gave us everything, our intelligence, our skills, our talents. He gave us all the natural resources that humankind has ingeniously transformed into products and conveniences. So yes, God, even my iPhone belongs to you, and you're going to love it. Except for the maps, but they're going to fix that. That's what I heard. For the second point, we're all stewards of these gifts. Gifts of leadership, gifts of music, gifts of technology that we have, which we see around the sanctuary, and yes, even our financial blessings. And by the way, we only have these financial blessings because we use these skills that God gave us, that He entrusted to us. So when I think of stewardship, and you guys probably think of this as well, I think of this concept of tithing, of giving 10%. And then for some reason, this example pops into my mind. You know, you go out to a restaurant. So we gather the family, you go out to the restaurant, you have a nice meal, and then you get the bill. And at the bottom of the bill, there's this row for gratuity, right? So I generally tip around 20%. It's an easy calculation. It seems to be the social norm. I might bump it down to 15% if the service was so-so. To reduce to 10%, you know, it was a pretty bad experience. And, you know, it was slow to get seated, slow service, no refills on the drinks. That's a big one for me. Maybe just downright bad attitude from the waitress. And some of my friends here have been with me at a restaurant in this exact situation. Might have gone less than 10%. Well, anyway. So, you know, I consider this concept of tithing and giving 10% to God, who gave me everything that I have, and I have to wonder, you know, what's that really worth? On Gallard's final point, we have a responsibility of managing our gifts for His glory. We're called to use our time, our talent, and our treasures to raise Him up, to give back to the one that gave us our life and our friends and our children in this world. So we answer this with intentional, diligent, and responsible management of these gifts, by volunteering of our time, by sharing of our talents, and by giving of our wealth to support God's mission in this church. So most of you know that I work in the field of information technology, or many of you know that, and my specialty has been for most of my career in the space of requirements management. So that's understanding and articulating the needs of the customer so the solution that's developed meets their expectations. So if you investigate, which means Google, right? Google search, you'll find over 800 mentions of money in the Bible. As Pastor Lauren mentioned, there's a lot, 800 times money is mentioned in the Bible. It seems like God, as the ultimate project manager, was an overachiever in describing His requirements when it comes to money matters. 800's a little over the top, but that's okay. For me, though, the passage that stands out the most is very well known. From 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 7, we read, "Each of you must give as you have made up your mind, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver." It continues, "And God is able to provide you with every blessing in abundance, so that always having enough of everything, you may share abundantly in every good work." In this coming week, please pray in preparation for Consecration Sunday. Be ready to give with a cheerful heart. The time, talent, and treasures of this congregation, of all of you, are making a difference in this world. Let's keep making a difference and give back to the one who's given us everything. Thank you.